Hey, Kirk here, and welcome to the Kirk Sells Homes YouTube channel. As a real estate agent, one of the most common questions I hear is, when is the best time to sell my house? Years ago, the answer was a little simpler, it was a little clearer. Typically, sellers would list in the spring with better weather, greener lawns, blooming flowers to make for better curb appeal, and they knew that if they listed in the spring, the closing would likely happen in the summer and they wouldn't have to pull the kids out of school. Buyers also loved the spring market because back in the day when there was less information through the computer, they actually had to get out and drive by every listing that they heard of. So better weather meant easier driving, and of course the curb appeal, they didn't have to wonder what it would look like in the spring or summer or whatever. They saw it for what it was. But to some degree, the strong seller's market and our thin inventories have diminished the impact of the seasonality that came along with the real estate market of years ago. So to a great degree, we're not seeing that as much. So there are many times throughout the year that are good to sell. One of the questions, though, you do need to ask yourself if you're thinking, yes, I want to list in the spring, when does the spring start? So to give you a better understanding, I'm going to run you through as quickly as I can an annual cycle of the real estate market and the ups and downs very briefly. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start at the end of May, because around Memorial Day, the spring market starts to wane, and by the end of June, people are traveling, they have summer plans, they're doing beach trips on a daily basis. So selling their house isn't a top priority at that moment in time unless they're very motivated sellers. So we basically coast through July and August, kind of the dog days of summer, until late August when there's usually a bump in inventory as some of the sellers are trying to get a quick jump on the people who plan to list Labor Day, after Labor Day. So in the fall, September, October, we have pretty good activity. Somewhat brisk in fact, and to a great degree November follows suit, until of course we get near Thanksgiving when people's minds shift towards the holidays, and once again selling the house anywhere between Thanksgiving and really a week or two after the new year is not a top priority for them. Again, unless they're motivated and they have time constraints. So buyers are sitting on the sidelines, no listings to speak of. There's some activity, of course, all year long. And sellers are not thinking about putting their houses on the market. But then in late January, a few listings typically come on, and it's kind of like, boom, the market jumps. And all of a sudden we have market activity. And the buyers who couldn't find a house in the fall were supposedly waiting patiently, maybe not so patiently, for their dream house. Suddenly you're back in the mix. And then there are the buyers who may have decided over the holidays that, hey, it's time for us to buy a house, or it's time for us to upsize or downsize. They're in the mix as well in January. So now you have these few listings, a lot of buyers, the pent-up demand and all usually leads to overbids, multiple offers, and that sort of thing. And in effect, the spring market is off and running, because they typically signal a steady increase right through the end of May, which is where we started, where we were saying the spring market was kind of waning. So from this this late January, early February time frame through May, in my opinion, and for all intents and purposes, is the spring market. Bottom line here, winter is not a bad time to sell your home. Third week, fourth week, January, early February, great times. You're going to see little competition. You're going to see pent-up demand from buyers. So if you're thinking of selling your home, it's something to consider. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out by phone, text, or email. We're here to help. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover, send us a message and we'll be glad to do that. Thank you.